Welcome back, my name is Benji. Let's talk about Pro Cycling Manager 2022. We've had quite a few announcements when it comes to the new game. Firstly, we know the release date, June 9th. So just like last year, roughly 3 weeks before the Tour de France. In the same tweet, there's also an announcement trailer for the game. One of those typical Pro Cycling Manager Tour de France game trailers that don't actually show anything of the new game, except for the new jerseys and the fact that riders ride over a Danish bridge during the Tour de France that might have echelons. Fortunately, there's more. For Pro Cycling Manager 2022, they posted a tweet that included 6 bullet points of what's in the actual game, together with a link of the Steam page of the new game, where there's a more extensive description of those features. Firstly, 70 teams available. Well, that's not the feature that people are going to be hyped about. That's in every Pro Cycling Manager game. So let's grab that from the feature list. Next one, new talent scouting system. This is one I do like a lot. Next to that, the new generation of cyclists. I think this is about youngsters that the game makes every year to replace the retired riders. So I'm curious what that feature holds behind the scenes. Another bullet point that likely relates towards the scouting system and that generation of cyclists feature is the cyclist development system. Then a rather vague one, more dynamic opponents. This could be one of those typical better AI features like every year. And lastly, improved interface. That's what I do like because I want the game to look a bit different every year. Based on this list, the flagship features of Pro Cycling Manager 2022 seem to relate towards the scouting and development of young riders, which I actually like. Let's take a look at the Steam page now and see what those features actually say. Firstly, the description of the new scouting system. A good sports director must know how to recruit future talent, which is why we have set up a new scouting system. You have to send your scouts to different regions in order to uncover the best talent. Your scouts become more effective and improve over time. They regularly send you information, for example about potential or characteristics of a rider, which you can use to make your choices. For example, you can observe a rider or integrate them in your development. Doing so will allow you to learn more about these riders. You are, of course, in direct competition with the other teams. I think that refers to the fact that all big teams will try and snatch the best talent, so you have to be fast. Fortunately, there's a screenshot of this feature. On the left, we can see a map where certain countries are shown in green, some in brown, and some in grey. I would expect that the green countries are the ones where you are currently scouting, and the brownish ones would be the ones where you could potentially scout, while the grey ones like Greenland are probably not scoutable. It's a shame, I wanted a Greenland rider. On the right top of the map, there's a box where world is selected. I'm guessing that's a way to change the map to just the entire world or certain continents. And completely on the right, we can see our scouts. We've got 4 scouts in this screenshot, starting off with Gert, a Dutch guy. Under the name of the scouts, there's a bar with green blocks in them. My guess is that this is some sort of point system where you can choose to invest X amount of points into a certain region. The better the scout, probably the more points you have to spend and invest in regions. For example, Gert is scouting Belux, which is a shame because Belgium is probably too small to select alone, so that's why they combined it. Gert is investing probably 3 points into that. I do want to repeat, this is me guessing from a screenshot. Under the bar with the green blocks, there's also Legendary. This is part of the game already. This is the reputation of a scout. For example, regional, national, legendary. The higher, the more you have to pay him. I hope that said reputation is in line with how good your scout is, as in how many points you can invest in your regions. Anyway, there's not too much more I can say about this for now. Next up, new generation of riders. This new system is based on the level and potential of the young riders, using a 6-star grading system. Ooh, I like that. Now the young riders who are created are juniors between 16 and 18 years old, and there's around 1.5k to 2k young cyclists generated every year. These new riders will be more versatile and will develop similarly to the current stars. Next, rider development. Just like with the young talent, we want to have more versatile riders, so the development system has been redesigned to take this into account. It is also critical for your riders to perfectly integrate in the team, establishing a good relationship with the coach, or they will not progress optimally. I think the last part of that is already kind of in the game where you have a relationship between the coach and the riders, but I've never actually noticed an effect out of that. On to the next one, more varied? I don't know. Race. In Pro Cycling Manager 2022, thanks to a... Oh my god, the word is there again! Thanks to a more varied, something like that, peloton, you experience scenarios that are different from the usual blueprint of a Tour de France stage. For example, you can find yourself in a race that is action-packed from the start, with favorites taking the lead, and a variety of attacks right from the first hour. That sounds intriguing as long as we don't see the yellow jersey attack on a flat stage. Lastly, the other improvements have quite a few. First of all, the interface has been redesigned with a total overhaul of the cyclist page that now incorporates new statistics, highlighted rider capabilities and the results, and the addition of an interface comparing cyclist characteristics. Let's take a pause there and take a look at the second and last screenshot of the game. I'm guessing this is what that cyclist page is. It looks similar to the teams page we already have in Pro Cycling Manager 2021, but now for each rider under each team. The tabs General, Season 2022, Preparation, Training, Evolution, Career already existed. I think this best results page is new though. I do want to note that under the Phase of Wout van Aert on this page, there's 5.5 stars. I'm guessing that refers to the 6-star potential system that is now new in the game. Wout seems to have 5.5, which is probably going to be one of the highest ones in the game. I think that's about it when it comes to this page. Back to the other improvements. Stamina and resistance scores have a bigger effect on how effort is exerted during the race. So the stamina and resistance bars are going to be affected more by the rider's stamina and resistance stats. This allows some riders to attack several times or manage their efforts at the end of a race better. The race day condition is now closer to the announced provisional condition. To enable comprehensive customizations, you can now adjust 2 parameters: bonus amplitude from +5 to -5 or complete deactivation, and activation or deactivation of Jesus, another one of those words. Variation. This is becoming a reading tutorial for me. Anyway, about that feature, I think this refers to the daily form in the race compared to the one you see in the briefing screen before the race. It's sometimes very different. Oh my god, the simulation time has been optimized and is now twice as fast as before. We're gonna save some time, people. That's glorious. Next up, you can now have specific team jerseys for a given race. Oh my god. We can have the Alpecin purple Poulidor jersey for the Tour de France if you want, for example. Anyway, that's about it when it comes to the features of Pro Cycling Manager 2022 that we know about so far. What's your take on it? Drop it below. Do you like these changes? Do you think it's not enough? What would you have liked to see instead? Anyway, that's about it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.